Easy. Okay, so we had angry scenes in Parliament this week. God knows what they must think if they're watching this from abroad. But a lot of it was down to the fact that they were angry at Boris Johnson proroguing Parliament, and he just brought it back, and the Conservatives didn't really want to be there, and the Labour Party seemed to want to do nothing else but to tear strips off him. And they accused him of using offensive language, and actually they picked out the words betrayal and surrender to have a go at. Now, let's have a look at what he means there with that. The word surrender, when he refers to the European Union and the treaty that Theresa May almost signed us up to, I think that's a perfectly legitimate word to describe it as, because if it's going to surrender powers to a foreign organisation, to a foreign power, that is a surrender. I have seen that bill, the Theresa May bill that she couldn't get through. I have seen that particular act described as a document that a country would only ever sign having been defeated in war. I shit you not, I have seen that be described that way. And of course the Labour Party now, the throwing shit at Boris Johnson now for using the word betrayal. Okay, well, who's Boris betrayed? Well, nobody really. But when he uses that word, he's using it towards the Labour Party. Now let's have a look at what we have in the area I live in the north of England. We have got constituency after constituency that is controlled by Labour, what you might call Labour heartlands. And many of them, in fact, I think a hell of a lot of them actually in the north of England, with the exception of York, voted as a majority to leave. So before they start accusing Boris of everything, because what's happening is that they've received death threats. Some of these Labour MPs have started receiving death threats. And of course, it's all Boris Johnson's fault. It's never their fault, is it? No. But of course, the public now in these areas are starting to get more and more angry. And I don't condone sending death threats to people. If you want to be active, then get out on the streets, besiege these people's constituent offices, and give them hell. Don't sit behind a keyboard and start typing threats. That's just cowardly. If you want to do something, do something. And betrayal is exactly what they are guilty of, because they are betraying their constituencies, one after the other, because they are constantly attempting to stop Brexit. They refuse to hold a general election. They refuse to submit a motion of no confidence in the Prime Minister. So they basically, what they are doing is they are keeping a dead Parliament going in order to try and take control of it, which is, what's the word for that now? Oh yeah, I know, a coup! Don't you remember all the Labour MPs screaming stop the coup a bit back when Boris prorogued Parliament? Hypocrites to the core or what? So if they want to find out why they're getting death threats, just try looking at themselves, try looking in the mirror and just see how angry people are with them, because it's the Labour MPs that are to blame for all this. They are to blame for their own death threats. They are going against what the people of their constituency voted for. And you know what, I just don't think they give a shit anymore, because if they cared, they would hold a general election. They would say, right, okay, let's do what we can to win power. But I think what they're doing is that they're not doing that in order to, eventually they're going to form a coalition with the opposition parties, including the SNP and the Lib Dems, because so far that's not happened, because they don't want Corbyn to take place as a caretaker Prime Minister. They don't want that. But I don't think it's going to be long before they decide that they're not bothered about that and they're prepared to deal with that in order to stop Brexit. And that is betrayal. They are cowards, absolute cowards. And I'll tell you this as well, if they want to talk about rhetoric, try this for rhetoric. What about John McDonnell, the Shadow Chancellor, who has said that a female Conservative MP should be lynched? He was talking about Esther McVey, somebody who I think is a great MP. And not only that, that we see far left activists connected to the Labour Party besieging Jacob Rees-Mogg's house and terrorising his children. Did Labour speak out about that? No, they kept very silent about that. So if you want to look for somebody to blame, almighty Labour MPs, stop screaming at Boris and stop using Joe Cox, the death of Joe Cox, as a tool. Now, I know that was a terrible tragedy that happened very close to where I live, was that. But that happened because of a man who was a neo-Nazi and mentally disturbed. And you really, how it's always when it's somebody from the right, it's always, far right, neo-Nazi. But whenever it's a Muslim terrorist, it's always mental health, isn't it? You got the recent case in Australia where a bloke went round with a knife and he jumped on the top of a car and he starts beating his chest going, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Nothing to do with Islam, though, that. Oh, no. Mental health, that were. Hypocrisy, absolute hypocrisy. I am sick of seeing the hypocrisy from these Labour MPs. Look at yourselves. You want to realise why you're getting death threats. You want to realise why the public is so angry with you. Look at yourselves. Stop being such a coward. Call a general election. You won't do that because you know that a lot of you are going to get voted out because you're betraying your constituencies. You're a disgrace. The Labour MPs betraying their constituencies are a disgrace. Shame on you all. Call a general election, you absolute cowards. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Easy.